This is NBL, my private group for superhero founders. Last Sunday, this community participated in something that has never been done before. I am building a business empire to scale it to $50,000 per month in just 30 days while documenting the entire process in 4 live calls, 1 call every Sunday. This video is a quick summary of the first call where I designed a $1 million business offer from scratch in 3 hours. Next week's call is going to be focused on lead generation, creating the funnel, and completing the VSL. If you want to get access to the recorded call and participate in watching the challenge, click the link in the description to join NBL, and I'll see you on Sunday.
Let's get started. Why is this a worthy company and a solution to build? This is something that I was thinking about the other day. 90% of entrepreneurs live a life of struggle and hustle. To be honest, we can even say that they never get to live. Why? Because what made them excited, or in some other words, delusional enough to have to leave their 9 to 5 or a traditional path to get into working for themselves, only leads to them becoming slaves to a different master. The master this time is themselves. Okay. If anyone here is running a business, you guys know that, yes, we left our 9 to 5, but we actually got it even, we actually became even greater slaves because now we're the master and the slave to ourselves. Right? When you're your own master, you tend to delude yourself into thinking that this is better, that it's better to be broke, let's say below $1 million profit a year. In my opinion, if you're clearing less than $1 million profit a year, you're kind of broke, right? So we end up, when we're our own CEO, we end up deluding ourselves into thinking that, it's better to kind of like make just enough money where you're better than others, where you're making more than others, but you're stressed, overwhelmed, and potentially experiencing a burnout as long as it's for your own business, right? And I've never really understood this. I'm like, no, I did not get into business because my ego is so big that just being my own boss is a good enough incentive. No, right? But most people, most entrepreneurs, this is how they think. They think that it's better to be their own boss, even if they're living a shittier life, as long as they're their own boss. The belief that we become entrepreneurs to achieve freedom is the biggest lie that has ever been sold to us. Entrepreneurship is not a path to freedom. It is a path to acquiring leverage. And what is leverage? Leverage comes in the form of capital, money, a shit ton of money. I'm spending a bunch of money every day to market. I don't have to keep on prospecting, reaching out to people, telling them, hey, can you buy my service? Can you buy my service? No, I can use the money. That's leverage. Code, this Zoom thing or this subscription or everything you guys are going to be able to leverage once you guys are in the community. I didn't build it. Someone built it using code, and we get to, to talk to hundreds of people on this call live. Content. I do a lot of content and it stays on forever. It does most of the work. It does most of the nurturing for me. That also costs money, right? Or it costs energy, talent. I have an amazing team, right? That costs money, right? If you put all of this together and you acquire this, then you're free. Without this, you're better off getting a 9 to 5. You're better off going and getting a job. Because if you guys don't understand this, you guys are never going to actually build a real company, right? If you look at the stats, there are like almost 33 million companies in the US, okay? Only 6 million of these businesses have employees. That's 18.46% of all the companies in the United States have employees. Only 1.3 million make over $1 million a year. That's 4% of all the companies created in the States are the only ones that clear over $1 million a year, right? 80% of all entrepreneurs in the United States are solopreneurs, aka slaves, who have the belief that working for themselves, doing everything in their company, making no money, having no time to be with their family, time to have other passions in life, or even worse, they've come to believe that staying small and offering a personalized service is their way of impacting the world. I'm sure we all know those people online who say, oh, I run a boutique agency. Shut up. You're delusional. What are you doing? Why don't you just get a job and be an employee who takes their time with people, right? There's no point in starting a business if you're going to be small. Imagine sacrificing your life to only impact 25 lives per year with your service or product. doing accounting. Maybe that's your service. Maybe you cut grass. Maybe you do gym. Maybe you have a little gym thing that you wake up and it's Sunday and you got to go do hot yoga, right? A coffee shop. Oh, you do coffee. Wow, I have a passion for coffee. What an amazing service. I like when I put the powder and I squeeze it and then I put it and I do a latte. Oh my God, for $6. Wow, high ticket. A design agency. You're like, I love to design all the websites. Cold calling agency. You're like, oh, I like my team. We're the best. We get like 20, 30% pickup rate. We're the best. A delivery company, you have one Tesla, you deliver stuff, you got an electric car, you're excited, right? Think of all the small businesses. You get to impact 100 lives in your entire lifetime, in your entire career, which isn't much. And you also didn't even get rich doing it. That's the curse we want to eradicate with this offer. We need a highly profitable service or offer. You know, most people are targeting typical agencies, info businesses, or starting typical agencies, info businesses, consulting, coaching, but they don't realize that these have all become commoditized, right? Commodities. And you can't really charge much money when there are 1,000 other people selling the same thing as you for 10 times less money, right? I just came from the rally in down Europe to Monaco for the Grand Prix. And I was talking to Iman and he was like, he said that this is going to be the last push that he does for his course. He has a $1,000, $1,500 course. He's like, fuck that. He's like, I'm only going to stick to this $37 a month offer. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you guys is how the ladder works, right? So I just explained to you guys kind of like a few of the models, but here's how, and by the way, you guys can see that this is exactly how I'm running this business. This is how I run clientacquisition.io, and this is how we're going to be scaling the sales enablement offer, okay? So here's how it works. Front end, we always lead with education, right? While everybody's trying to push everyone to a VSL funnel and then book a call right away and then start paying money, we don't like that. Why should we play the same game as everybody else? We want more leverage and we want to have an edge over people. So we run education on the front end. It could be on YouTube, it could be in a community. If you want to do school, we have clients who are 16-year-old making 100K a month with the school-free community, leading with content and free information. And then we educate people on something. And then we're just like, hey, by the way, to do this, you need an infrastructure. Oh, by the way, we can implement this infrastructure for 10K, 50K, 25K, 30K. It depends, okay? And then so we go from education, so we educate a lot of people for free. While everyone is selling courses, we want to educate people for free or as close to free as possible. And then out of these, hundreds, thousands of people we're getting, let's just get 5% of them to want implementation. And let's slowly just compound that over and over again. And then out of the businesses that we've built the infrastructure for, we just want to take a percentage of them and ascend them to our partnership offer in exchange of 3 to 5K a month, a fee or a percentage of the business. We're going to give them service and data. Okay. So we're downselling them from having to spend 10, 50K upfront to downselling them to something that costs like 3K a month or 5K a month plus a percentage, either or, right? And then the last model is equity, gaining equity into the business. This, by the way, is the most leveraged pricing model, owning something that, so if essentially, I'll mention it a little later, but acquisition.com just essentially skipped all of these layers, implementation and partnership, and just go from education straight to owning the thing that they're scaling. So a lot of us, we need capital now, we need money today. So we have to exchange services for money. But eventually, if you can just say no to okay money today and say, I want to be a 9-figure earner a decade from now, if you skip this here and go straight to here, and every single business you ever work for or help scale, and you get a piece of it, you can compound it to $100 million if you want. But because we have to eat, we have to drive nice cars. In the meantime, we gotta be profitable today. Okay, but check this out. And here's how the numbers work. create free educational content, which are sales assets. You get 1,000 people to consume it. 5% of them want implementation of the system that you present, which is 50 businesses. They pay 15K for implementation. That's 750K every 90 days. Okay. You get 10% of them who bought implementation to become partners for a monthly fee or a percentage of revenue of profit you bring in. Let's say that's 20 partners every year doing 100K a month each. You get 25% of their cash flow. That becomes 500K a month in pure profit, since the initial build and release offer, front-end offer, is already bringing in over almost $250,000 per month from 16 new clients, which is 50 divided by 3 months. That's 16 new implementation every month, which covers OpEx, operating expenses, team, systems, marketing.